something for 500 shillings, sold it at 600 shillings, and thought, wow, I made a profit of 100 shillings. Maybe you have. But what if you spend the same 50 shillings on transport to get that product? What if you paid for packaging? What if you have to pay for rent, electricity, or someone to help you sell it? Suddenly, the 100 shillings profit isn't really 100 shillings anymore, is it? And this is many small business owners' problem. Basically, pricing your products at the wrong price. They look at the price they've paid for the product and add a little money on top and call it profit. But pricing is more than that. Today we are going to talk about how to price your products correctly, how to know whether you're actually making money, and why being the cheapest business isn't always the best strategy. Let's start with something very important. Your selling price must cover your cost and leave you with enough money to make the business worthwhile. That sounds obvious, but many entrepreneurs don't calculate their cost. Let's use a simple example. Imagine you buy a handbag at 1,000 shillings. You decide to sell it at 1,300. But you may look at that and say, I've made a profit of 300 shillings. But let's look closer. Maybe you spent 50 shillings on transport. Maybe the packaging was 30 shillings. Maybe you paid 20 shillings for a mobile money transaction or selling cost. Now your actual cost isn't 1,000 shillings anymore. You have spent almost 1,100. So your 1,300 selling price gives you 200 shillings before considering other business expenses. And if you have rent, electricity, salary, advertisement, and other overheads, your actual profit could be even lower. That's why you need to know your total cost. Don't just ask, how much did I buy this product for? Ask, how much does it actually cost me to get this product to my customer? That is the number. That is the number you need when setting your price. Now, here's another mistake I see often. Business owners look at their competitors and simply copy their prices. Your competitor is selling something at 1,500, so you sell yours at 1,500. But here's the problem. You don't know their cost. Maybe they bought their stock in bulk and get a much lower price. Maybe they have a cheaper supplier. Maybe they have been in business for 10 years or have a lower operating cost. Or maybe they're actually selling it at a loss. You don't know. You don't build your pricing strategy around someone else's business. Understand your own numbers first. Now, let's talk about profit. If your total cost is 1,000 and you sell the product at 1,500, the difference is 500. That 500 is your gross profit before other business expenses. But don't immediately take the 500. Your business still has bills. This is where you need to understand the difference between sales, revenue, and profit. If you sell 10 products at 1,500 each, your sales is 15,000. But that doesn't mean you made 15,000. If those products cost 10,000, your gross profit is 5,000. And if you spent 2,000 on your other business expenses, you're left with 3,000. This is much closer to what you can actually call profit. This is why celebrating sales without looking at the profit can be dangerous. A business can have a very high sales and still make very little money. Now let's talk about something else. Should you always try to be the cheapest? The answer is no. Being the cheapest can attract customers, but it can also create problems. If your prices are too low, you may not have made enough money to maintain quality. You may struggle to pay your bills, you may struggle to restock. And eventually you may become exhausted because you're working very hard with very little profit. Instead of always asking, how can I make uh, my price lower? Ask yourself, how can I make my product worth the price I'm charging? This brings us back to something we discussed in our lessons uh, about adding value. Maybe you offer better customer service, maybe your packaging is better, maybe you're offering delivery, maybe you provide a warranty, maybe your uh, response you respond quickly to your customer. Maybe you offer expert advice. These things make customers feel that they are getting more than what they are paying for. And when a customer sees more value, they may be willing to pay for the value. But there is another side of pricing. You can't simply decide that your product is worth a certain amount because you like it. Your customers have a say too. You need to understand what they are willing to or able to pay. That's why knowing your customer is important. If you're selling to students, your pricing may reflect their budget. If you're selling premium products to customers who are looking for quality and convenience, your pricing strategy may be completely different. There isn't one perfect price for every business. Your price is to make sense to your cost, to your customers, to your competition, to your positioning, and to the value you're providing. And remember, pricing isn't something you set once and forget forever. The costs change. The suppliers also increase their prices. Rent increases. Transport become even more expensive. The market changes. Your business can always become more valuable if you have reputation. If your reputation grows. So review your prices regularly. If your costs have increased and you keep your old prices forever, your profit margin can slowly disappear without you even noticing. And please don't be afraid to communicate a price increase professionally. If your customer trusts you and understand that your costs have changed, many will understand. You don't have to apologize for running a business. You just need to be fair and transparent. Now let's talk about discount. Discounts can be useful, but don't make them a habit. When you constantly tell your customer that your product is on sale, they may stop wanting to pay the normal price. They may simply wait for the next discount. Before offering a discount, ask yourself why you're doing it. Are you trying to clear your old stock? Are you attracting new customers? Are you celebrating an occasion? Are you rewarding loyal customers? There should be a reason. And always calculate what discount goes to your profit. A sale brings customer but leaves you losing money. A sale that brings you customer but leaves you losing money isn't necessarily a successful sale. Now here's something I want every business owner watching this video to remember. Your price is not just a number. It communicates something about your business. Sometimes a very low price can make customers question the quality, and a high price can sometimes communicate premium quality, but only if the product and experience actually justifies it. So don't choose your price based on fear. Don't say, if I charge more, nobody will buy. Find out, test, listen to your customer, look at your numbers, and adjust when necessary. Your goal isn't about the lowest price. Your goal is to have a price that allows you to serve your customers well, cover your costs, make a reasonable profit, and keep your business healthy. This is a sustainable pricing. A sustainable business will build a successful profit. Now let's have our